Check my nails, looking good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh yeah, I know this'll be the day. Oh, yeah. Everything will be okay. Oh, yeah. I kiss my cares all away. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a good, good day. It's gonna be a good, good day. Good, good day. Hey. I think it's finally all gonna go my way. Go my way. Rain or shine, no, I don't mind. This day is mine. I'm gonna chase all those gray clouds away. It's gonna be a good day. Crying myself to sleep and thinking better days are a far off dream. Get up and I move my feet, cause I hear music playing on these streets. Oh yeah. Ain't nobody gonna cry today. Ain't nobody gonna die today. I kiss my cares all away. It's gonna be a good, good day. It's gonna be a good, good day. Good, good day. Gonna be a good, good day. I think it's finally all gonna go my way. Be a good day. It's beautiful. It's gonna be a good day. No more crying myself to sleep and thinking better days are a far off dream. Get up and I move my feet, cause I hear music playing. It's gonna be a good, good day. It's gonna be a good, good day. Good, good day. I think it's finally all gonna go my way. Rain or shine, no, I don't mind. This day is mine. I'm gonna chase all those gray clouds away. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. It's a great, great day. It's a good day. Get up. Can't you see the sun shining? I woke up and I rolled out of bed. Got dressed and I left at 10. Check my nails, looking good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh yeah, I know this'll be the day. Everything will be okay. I kiss my cares all away. It's gonna be a good, good day. It's gonna be a good, good day. Good, good day. Hey. I think it's finally all gonna go my way. Go my way. Rain or shine, no, I don't mind. This day is mine. I'm gonna chase all those gray clouds away. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. No more crying myself to sleep and thinking better days are a far off dream. Get up and I move my feet, cause I hear music playing on these streets. Oh yeah. Ain't nobody gonna cry today. Ain't nobody gonna die today. I kiss my cares all away. It's gonna be a good, good day. It's gonna be a good, good day. Good, good day. Gonna be a good, good day. I think it's finally all gonna go my way. Rain or shine, no, I don't mind. This day is mine. I'm gonna chase all those gray clouds away. It's gonna be a good day.
Hey, how are you for the final time of 2021? Thank you guys for joining us. Yeah. Sometimes you don't think about some of these items,
That's right. Last day. Well, tomorrow's the last day, but for TNT, today is the last day.
So that's your reminder, no TNT tomorrow because it's New Year's Eve. We're starting to get to a habit of taking off some of these holidays, right? So we'll know, at least with TNT.
Yes.
So we can have some great topics for you and great content when we do have it.
Yeah, we need to be fresh.
Topic number 1 is survey delay dilemma. What does this do for you? So Shana has a real life situation.
I have a real life situation. I'm going to ask you guys a question and let you guys respond. Remember last time Logan, I think, won.
Logan.
Yeah, so
we'll see how that goes. So there'll be some interaction. So be ready.
Yeah, be ready.
For the first topic. And then we have topic number 2 is what can we learn from Enron 20 years later?
Enron? I forgot all about Enron.
Well, I know. But then all of a sudden you look at it and it was 20 years ago.
Wow.
And kind of what happened there. All right?
Yeah.
So I think we'll get through that. And then if we can, Cirrus Aircraft expands at McKinney FBO. What is that? What's that mean? And how's it impact real estate? So.
Or us.
Or us in general. Perfect. So those are the 3 topics we will try to muster through this morning. What about checking people in, Shana?
Who's here? Don't be slacking this week. This week between Christmas and New Year's is kind of that week that, we kind of lay off the gas, but it's not the time. So
it is not.
Check
it shows
see
up.
Who's checking in.
Definitely does.
Who's
I think we're ready to
in?
go. Hit the bell.
Here
Let's
we
go. That's Shana Acquisto. She's a luxury real estate broker.
Good morning.
Topic we're going to speak about is survey delay dilemma, but not luxury.
Yes, you are.
No, not luxurious at all.
High luxury.
All right, so we have a survey delay dilemma. We're going to ask some questions and kind of discuss this.
Yeah.
But when you get into a contract, and all of a sudden the survey becomes a problem, then what happens? So Shana has some stuff she's going to talk about.
So that's our first question. So if you are in a contract and you have a closing date, say the closing date is today, and you've been waiting on this survey and the survey is not received by the close date, what happens? Is it automatically extended? Or does it terminate?
Because you have contractual issues, so let's kind of talk through that, right?
Yeah.
So in the survey, or in there, it says who pays for the survey.
Right. So we can kind of back up a step. So I'm going to have Omkar go ahead and pull over the contract, and we're kind of going to go through it. So we know. So if you go down to 6, please.
There we go.
There we go. No, keep going. Sorry.
Just a little lower on there. Go ahead, Shana.
So that's one thing. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's where we select who is responsible for the survey. So if you know, and this is kind of another little reminder, you need to know if there is an existing survey before you enter a contract. This is best practice. You need to find out if you represent a buyer, does the seller have an existing survey? If so, and you know it, you select one, okay?
Now, by have a survey, they could have one, but it could not be acceptable.
Yes. So just because they have a survey doesn't mean it's acceptable. So you need to find out if they have a survey, and you need to study it, and you need to understand, does everything look the same now as it does from that survey, right? Or do you see some changes? Then it goes on to see if it's acceptable to the title company and the lender. Great. If not, who's going to pay for a new one? Just because they provide one doesn't mean it's acceptable. So then you determine who's going to pay for it, right? If you know they don't have a survey, then 2 and 3 are to select who is going to pay for a new survey. Okay. So we've established that. So fine, we've got this established, and we're moving along, and I'm going to give you this real life scenario. So the seller provided us a survey. They had not made any changes. Actually, the seller had a survey, and they supplied the survey to us. But they didn't, within the time that we selected in the contract, they did not provide the T47. So they provided the survey, but not the T47. So therefore, it's not valid, right? They go hand in hand, and you can't just have one without the other. So because of that, the buyer or the seller was responsible for getting us a new survey. So we had to order a new survey, which we did immediately when they passed that date. So we're plugging along here, and surveys are delayed. The surveyor is delayed. It's right before Christmas. Nobody's working, and we had kind of a really rough time getting the survey back. So it comes to the closing date, and the survey is not received.
Okay, so we still don't have a survey.
Still don't have a survey. We're supposed to close today. And so what happens here?
Okay.
So I'm asking you guys, and if you could chat in now, what you think happens at this time. Do you believe that the contract automatically extends for this? Or do you believe it doesn't? That's my question to you guys. I'm going to give you a second.
Because now you have a timeline issue.
Because now we have a timeline issue, right? And, we've ordered it. So the buyer and the seller have agreed, and contractually we've done everything we're supposed to do. However, the survey company is the one that's delayed.
A third party, and this could be just like about anything.
Yes.
Whether it's a repair or something else, it's going to
Right.
be all kind of be treated the same.
Right. So I was thinking that maybe it's automatically extended. It's not, it's out of the hands of the buyer and the seller. Nope, that is not the case. So let's go on down, or go back up to 6, Omkar, if you don't mind.
Yep.
So if you go back up here, right there, title policy and survey, and you see down here under 8, 6A8, you have 1 and 2. Will this survey be amended or deleted from the title policy, or will it be amended to read shortages in the area? So if you have an issue with the survey and you want that survey coverage, right? You want to make sure, in this case, it was land. So they wanted to make sure this survey was old, that they had proper survey coverage in case something happened down the road. So in order for us to get survey coverage, we had to have a survey, right? We didn't have a survey. So the date of closing, here's the option. This was a cash buyer. So the day of closing, we can either close and receive the title policy with no survey coverage, or you can extend the contract, but there's no automatic extension in the contract. So if they didn't make a decision that day, the next day, we're out of contract, right? And it's not the fault of anybody other than a third party. So we're relying on a third party here. So it got very, very tricky. Because it's cash, right? They had to make a decision. We wanted to extend, then the seller said, I'm not extending. So you can either close and have no survey coverage and take that risk, or, you're going to be in default. So it was really a tricky situation. And, these are things to think about, that just because you have a survey, just because everything's agreed, well, what if you have to order a new one and you don't get it in time? These are things you need to think about and plan for in the contract. I would say it's probably the same with the appraisal. However, in that situation, if an appraisal wasn't done or received, right, then you're subject to a loan, and the lender could then say, look, we can't approve this loan because it hasn't met underwriting guidelines. Same with the survey.
But that doesn't change the timeline of it going out of contract.
No, but it does change if the buyer would be able to maybe get their earnest money back. Mm-hmm. Right? In this case of cash, there was no option. But in a scenario of being financed, that could fall under the lender can't complete the loan, and therefore if the lender can't complete the loan and it's because of something like that, underwriting guidelines, it's a different scenario. So just be prepared. Something to think about. Let's see. And hey, you guys knew that. I'm so happy.
Very nice.
I say no.
Glad to see that.
Good job, Logan.
So there's quite a few items that go into this.
Yeah.
And if we're looking at it, there's if you're getting your earnest or option money back and how that works, right?
Well, you're not going to get your option money back.
Right. Okay. And then the other questions would be, how it extends and why. Uh-huh. And then what you would have to do if this happens. So in that situation, you'd have to sue for specific performance.
Yep.
If you were the buyer to do that. Mm-hmm. Or you'd send over an extension, right, to keep it in contract. But the other person doesn't have to sign that. The
other party doesn't have to sign it, right? There's no obligation for them to have to do that because of the delay of a third party.
Now, you said something early in the conversation that was interesting to me, so I'd like to see if we could unpack and rewind on that one.
Okay.
So you said something about the survey. Yep. And they provided a survey, but not the T47.
Right.
So the T47 does what?
The T47 is an affidavit for the title company.
Yes.
The title company never goes out to
look at
survey the land or look at it to know if
it's correct.
If it's correct. So they rely on that. So for them to issue coverage on it, they need to have that sworn statement because that protects them. In the event something happens later down the road, they can come back and say, what you said here,
perfect.
That wasn't the case.
Yep. So what that is here's the survey, here's the what's on the property, and as the seller, the T47 is them saying this is correct.
Right.
And there's been no changes to it that would affect it, and these lines on here are correct.
Yep.
So the fact that they had a survey, there was no changes to it, but they just did not attest to that fact.
Right.
So then in that moment, essentially they did not have a survey.
Right.
Then you went back and said you didn't provide us a full survey, an acceptable survey.
So now we're going to order it, and it's going to be at your expense, seller. And
Whoa! So you got the other party to pay for a new survey. That was the interesting
They
part.
had to. That's what the contract says.
No, I understand that, but that's impressive.
Well, yeah.
Why wouldn't they just sign the? Why wouldn't they sign the T47?
I love Stacy because at that minute that it hits that they haven't provided something, Stacy's like, boom.
All right, so why didn't they just sign the T47? They were just lazy?
I don't know. I think, honestly, that probably was somewhat of the agent's responsibility.
Yeah.
First, you should have had that before they even
listed the property or considered.
They hadn't listed it, but
okay.
She should have had that taken care of in advance.
Wow, that was impressive. Wow, nice job, everybody involved.
Stacy she swooped in.
Wow, way to go, Stacy. So what this tells you on that other side.
We weren't trying to be difficult, but
that's why there's a process of what we ask you to do and when we ask you to do it, because if you don't follow timelines, then all of a sudden, so approximate cost of a new survey.
$450.
Okay, but also delay in time, right?
Yeah.
So $450 was the extra expense to the seller or to the seller's agent.
Well,
in this
think,
case.
if you don't close on time,
yeah,
that could be very, very costly for everyone.
Yeah.
Right? If someone is having a simultaneous move or a close, I mean, any closing delay can cost thousands of dollars.
So that was a great catch. Way to go. It's super impressive. Very, very impressive to everybody involved in that transaction.
And we were paying attention to, looks like the survey's not going to be received by this date. So we engaged with the seller trying to get an extension, and they didn't want to extend, and it was kind of a mess. So,
Well, congratulations.
it all worked out. It closed. Everybody's happy.
That's good.
There you go.
So that's a wrap. Well, that's a wrap. We talked about like 3 things within that contract there.
Yeah, there's a
that
lot to
one
the surveys. You
No,
guys,
there really
and,
is.
Yeah.
Super impressive. So there's, you know, the important things is there's timelines and you have to hit them. And if you give half a document, it's not the full document. If it's not signed, if it's not, you know, there's a lot of challenges with some of these items.
Yeah.
And that's where true professionals come in. And that's the value Stacy ends up providing as well, right? And that you provide as a
she's
broker to oversee
she's on
and
it.
understand these things.
Yes.
And there is a contract and there's rules in it and there's not interpretation. There's actually just what happens.
Yeah, and we did have, there are, you know, I feel like our contract is pretty black and white and easy to understand if you just read it and interpret it. But this is something that should be addressed in the contract, right?
Yes, and you
Because
brought
that's
that
outside
up.
of our, I did. So we contacted, you know, legal counsel, and pretty much it was like, yeah, you're
All right.
opposed.
Okay, so you
Not going to get survey coverage.
You talked through that, and that might be a change that comes into the next contract. Is it possible that
I don't know. We'll see. But this can't be the first time this came
they
up.
noted the problem, though, right? And they're like, "Huh, the contract doesn't address it." There should be a checkbox, or what happens in that event when the seller doesn't provide or live up to their part of it at that step.
Yes.
Interesting. So that went to the Trek. What's the company or the parties that do that? That write the contract,
Broker lawyer committee. Yeah.
And how many people are on that committee? A bunch or
12. I'm not sure.
12
Actually,
people?
I'm not sure.
But it's an impressive group of
Yeah.
people that get together that are brokers and they write the actual contract. I think you should get on that committee next. I think it'd be a super cool one. You would really enjoy it because you love the contracts.
Could be interesting.
All right. That's a great one for you for the future. No TNT tomorrow.
Happy New Year. Be
Yes.
safe, and we will see you in 2022.
All right, and predictions. Oh, I'll give everyone one shot just
Are you
tomorrow.
good?
Yeah, well, tomorrow is college football playoffs. So if you have anyone in the fight here, let us know. But who do we think is going to be? I think it's going to be an SEC championship game, and I'm going to pick Alabama in the championship game over.
Really?
Yeah, I will.
You just can't.
It just is what it is. I think they'll beat Georgia, so those are my.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I know Stacy's team played last night.
Yes, and they were impressive. And maybe they have their interim/new coach, and they're building. I don't know. Get the guy a second statue and keep him around, and let him go to the SEC. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. That'd be awesome.
And rest in peace, John Madden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, since we're talking football. But anyway, Happy New Year. See you next year.
I think John Madden shot out. That was good. That was awesome. 1 second here. We'll have to see if Omkar knows who John Madden is.
If he plays video games, he will.
I don't know, but that's interesting. There's certain people, Shana, certain people that go across different places, right? Survey dilemma. We don't have an actual survey. Can you pull up the survey on here?
We have like a paper.
Yeah. Do you have any survey on there? Or that contract or something?
Probably not.
Any kind of paperwork possible.
No, I don't.
There you go. That's good. Got it. Thank you. That was good. That was the only topic we covered. Microphone up.
It's a great, great day. It's a good day. Get up. Na, 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 dressed and I left at 10. Check my nails, looking good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh yeah! I know this'll be the day